Again, for those wondering, if you wanted to tune into this is where we're covering Group A, and if you want to tune into the rest of it, we actually casted the winners match live, or the winners matches live, the qualifying matches, myself and Asher over the weekend. Here we are catching up with the matches that we missed, as we could only cast so much as all the matches were happening at the same time. And here we go, spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Babylon, we have the Ukrainian Protoss player representing Hot-Headed Gaming. Just took down sort of 2-0. It is NightPhoenix. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have the South Korean Zerg player representing Team Abydos. It is DRG. Let's go. I've seen NightPhoenix in the chat. I've seen this somewhere before. Oh, I've experienced this. I'm getting deja vu. I mean, you should be. Oh boy. And yeah, I'm really excited to see how this does turn out. So for those wondering, for some context, we did cast DRG versus Hearthstone in the upper bracket of this event, and yeah, Hearthstone was able to perform very well against Dongregu, knocking him down here to the lower bracket where he is facing, or where he's currently facing NightPhoenix. I highly recommend checking out the VOD. DRG versus Hearthstone. Oh, it was beautiful. It was actually such an amazing series. I'm so lucky to have been able to cast it live. And yeah, if you're interested, the VODs are available on Twitch. Eventually they'll be uploaded to YouTube once we do catch up. There's a lot of catching up to do when it comes to YouTube VODs, but we're working on it. We are working on it. And again, if you can't wait, then Twitch is where it is at. Ooh. But until then, we do have this PVZ before us, and yeah, we'll see how this does unfold. DRG was able to get his natural up and running. Also, we'll be having a bit of an easier time here in the early game when it comes to defending. And as a result, I can't imagine NightPhoenix is going to be going for another Twilight Council opener. Oh, well, never mind. We're doubling down, Papi. We're doubling down. We're going for a Twilight Council once again. Now, even if this is for Glaives, it doesn't mean we're going to see a 6-gate all-in again, just like we saw last game against Sort of. We could just go for a 4-gate into a third base. We could go for a more macro-oriented version, or we could go 4-gate into a Dark Shrine. Like, there's kind of a lot that you can do off of a Twilight Council opener. Could even just be a straight-up Dark Shrine opener as well. We shall see. As there is no Robo, so yep, it is going to be Glaives. We have pulled out of gas as well, so I think this is going to be 4-gate Glaive Adept, not 6. So a different variation coming out from NightPhoenix, just in case sort of was like slipping into the DMs of DRG and letting him know what happened. Love to see it. And for the time being, NightPhoenix is just going to be testing the waters here, just poking, prodding, whenever they can, just keeping DRG honest for the time being, as we are throwing down our additional gateways. And there we go. It is going to be, for the time being, 3 gates. We should be seeing 1 more gateway thrown down. There we go. It is going to be 4-gate Glaives. And we should be stopping here at 4. Now from here, we can go a couple of different directions. We can go for a 3rd CC. Sorry, 3rd Nexus. We can go for a 3rd base. We can also go for something like, or we can just commit and go for, oh, well, we're committing, Papi. We can commit and throw down something like a Dark Shrine, or throw down a Bay to get into Disruptors off of that Robo. But we have 2 more gateways, and this time it's going to be scouted. Oh boy, if you recall, sort of wasn't able to confirm how many gateways there were. DRG does. He goes in with his Overlord. He sees 4 gates in the main. He knows that there's at least 1, or he knows that there are 2 gates here at the natural, so 6 gates in total. DRG knows that it's going to be an all-in from NightPhoenix. And DRG is reacting as well with the Bailey Nest, but he has the foresight to cut workers. You can see here the saturation at the third is almost non-existent. We're cutting workers at 39. We're making nothing but lings, nothing but Bailings. The queens are spreading creep as well. Because we were able to take our natural, the creep was already very well spread in between all the bases. So this is a much better setup for DRG. NightPhoenix has to somehow get through this and get some more damage done as the lings. They do get a surround immediately. Hot pick up there from NightPhoenix. Does save a lot of those Phoenixes, but alas, the surround is too good and DRG shuts this down. DRG being so proactive with his Ling Bane, with his queens, with his creep, with his positioning. And this is already a really rough start for NightPhoenix. Like, when you go for something like 6-8 Glaive Adept, you have to snowball, you have to try and get out of control early on as the game gets longer and longer. I mean, DRG, he's droning. Oh my god, the confidence here from DRG. He's droning, he's throwing down a Roach Warren, he's taking more gases. That is how confident he is right now, and I mean, he deserves to be confident. Oh, as the Bailings once again roll on forward. Good spread here from NightPhoenix. Does avoid a lot of those Bailings. So we do have another warp in here towards the third base. The Adepts are going to be threading a shade into the natural. Drones are going down. Oh, as we commit to the shade, Bailings did connect. The Lings are waiting for him. And the Adepts are cleaned up. We only have a couple of Adepts remaining. And it looks like NightPhoenix has just lost a little bit too much. There are too many Lings, too many Bailings. And DRG did lose some workers, to be fair. 7 drones did go down, which is nice. But with a 6 gate, you need more. You need more damage. You need to be able to end the game. There isn't any longevity with this. There's no forge, there's no +1. GG gets called. And DRG takes the first game. GG. I feel like you can see the stark contrast here between how DRG reacted and how Sort of reacted as well. With that same build on the same map. Ooh, brutal game there from NightPhoenix, but great scouting by DRG. Again, he was able to go in with his Overlord. He saw everything ahead of time, had more than enough time to prepare, and because the initial hold was so powerful and so strong, DRG even had the room to be a little bit greedy and squeeze out some more drones, tech up as well. The confidence of DRG was pretty insane in that game. Pretty insane. Oh, GG. And now we're going to be getting into game number 2. Número 2, papi. Número 2. Old man still got it. he's not that old. He's not that old. Ay. Shaking my head. As spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Dragon Scales, we have the Ukrainian Protoss player. He is red, representing hot-headed gaming down in this series, but not out. It is NightPhoenix. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have their opponents. We have the South Korean Zerg player representing Team Abydos. It is DRG. It sounds so weird not calling him Dongregu. Feels weird. not gonna lie. As we get into this game, DRG going for the 14 hatch. This has been very trendy recently amongst the Koreans. If you're tuning in, maybe you're familiar with the 15 hatch. 15 hatch has been also quite popular amongst the more foreign scene, like Cyril, Raynor, Scarlet. They have all been embracing the 15 hatch, which is when you cancel, when you make an initial drone, you cancel, make a drone, and you throw down your hatchery at 15 supply, 15 out of 14. But a lot of the Korean Zergs like Dark, Ragnarok, Solar, and DRG as well have been going for earlier 14 hatcheries instead, not bothering at all with like canceling the gas geyser and all that stuff. And as a result, they're able to throw down their hatchery here before the probe shows up. So it's really cool to see. I think this has been happening for the past couple of weeks, maybe 3 weeks. It's really cool to see openers evolving over time. And I'm pretty sure the only reason why the Koreans have started doing the 14 hatch is because the 15 hatch became popular. Like, it just opened up the idea of, hey, what if we just get an earlier hatchery? And what if we just get our base where we need it to be? And yeah, a lot of them have been experimenting and favoring this opener a lot, specifically in ZvP. Long gone are the days of the constant probe blocking and the pylon blocking. At least until Protosters figure out another way. Maybe another way to disrupt the openers here. As we're getting into this, again, because of the 14 hatch, DRG is able to expand here on location very comfortably. Very comfortably overall. We do see DRG setting up for his third base. This probe is trying to be as annoying as possible to try and delay that third base. The drone just wants to make a hatchery, but the pylon is thrown down. Lings are already here, though, and they're going to be forcing a very quick cancel. We get a kill on the probe, and the hatchery has arrived. If you're wondering, the goal there from NightPhoenix was to buy time for the Adept. The goal here was to throw down the pylon, hope that there were only 2 Lings and not 4, buy enough time for the Adept to show up, and then we saw it against Sort of, if you remember, where the Adept is able to focus down the drone and delay the third base even longer. Alas, DRG was ready for that, and isn't slowed down for too long. Behind this, NightPhoenix is going to be going for a Stargate opener. I appreciate that we are mixing things up, that we're not going to be committing for another all-in. Even though we're on Dragon Scales, even though we're on a pretty small map, we are going to be going for a more standard Oracle opener. You'll have to see it. Behind this, NightPhoenix is setting up here for their third base. For their third base, we should be getting a second Oracle behind this. The Adepts are already getting in position as well. And the Lings are moving out, looking to maybe try and punish this as the Oracle moves out. So DRG is fully aware that his Queens have to be in position. We have 2 Queens at the natural. We have 2 Queens in the main. No spores, but 2 Queens are enough to deter 1 Oracle. And that changes when we get up to 2 or 3 Oracles, but when it comes to 1, 2 Queens is more than enough. Oh, despite that, NightPhoenix does catch 1 transferring worker. Let's get 1 drone kill, but takes quite a bit of hull damage. NightPhoenix does attempt to dance between the bases, and it looks like we get 1 larva and maybe another drone. No, it does get morphed very quickly into that spore. Oh, oof. Very quick cancel towards the end there. DRG will keep that drone alive. But at least NightPhoenix is able to likewise keep their first Oracle alive. We have the second one moving out, we have a third one on the way, and behind this we're working towards our Twilight Council. We have delayed our Forge in favor of a third Oracle, but we should be working towards our Forge soon. If we don't, then that could be indicative of a more committed 3-base play. Oh, as we're catching quite a lot of drones here. 3 drones go down in the mineral line, another one gets caught out transferring up. As NightPhoenix barely is able to get that Oracle out of there, safe and sound. Oracle does survive. Meanwhile, the Overlord dives into the main base, gets a full scout, confirms the Twilight Council sees it researching. But again, there is no Forge. It's either heavily delayed or we won't see a Forge. Very curious. Gonna be keeping my eye on the gateway count. It has been a while since I've seen a 7-gate all-in off of 3 bases. But we don't have that much saturation here at the third. We have 4 gates on the way in addition to the 2 that we already have. So only 6 gates for the time being. Oracles do pick up a queen. Yeah, NightPhoenix is setting up for a proxy gateway as well. And there is the 6th, sorry, there is the 6th gateway. We're about to have a 7th. Let's go, Bobby. Let's go. Sorry, we have 7 gates back at home and an 8th gate across the map. So this is a 3-base all-in. This is very committed. That's why we don't have a Forge. That's why we don't have any upgrades, because we're not looking for the game to go on any longer. We're looking to just apply pressure with nothing but Blink Stalkers. This can snowball out of control. This can get out of hand if DRG is unaware, but his Lings see this. Oh, his Overlord saw the proxy. Oh my god, that's so unfortunate. The Overlord saw the proxy when it was thrown down, so DRG, he has plenty of time to react. He's making his roaches. Lings are on the way. He's aware of how committed NightPhoenix is about to be. The hero Overlord. I was wondering, like, how does he know? How did DRG know to check here? And this was because he saw it ahead of time. Meanwhile, the Lings, they bust into the natural base. Oh my god, shield battery was not here. Probes are falling left and right. At the same time, we get a full surround on the Stalkers of NightPhoenix. Ay. We weren't able to blink out in time. Half the Stalker count goes down. 8 probes go down as well. We were talking about this before, but when we're all in like this, losing workers is so... It's almost game ending. Like, we're not working. We don't want to make probes right now. We want to make units. We want to make Stalkers. As we have another Link counterattack here at the third base. At the same time, DRG is forcing back the main army of NightPhoenix. Ay. And the longer this goes on, the better it is for DRG. We've got +2 on the way. We've got a 4th base up and running. We have a decent economy as well. And as the army of NightPhoenix gets forced back, the proxy gateway is exposed. Yeah, and with these reinforcements, it looks like DRG just has too much. GG. Good luck in the next game. DRG takes the series 2-0. There was a delay with the trumpets. But GG, well played. Shout out to NightPhoenix for attempting to execute that. Again, it's been a long time. It's been a long time since I've seen an all-in like that. I think the last time I saw that comes to mind was actually NightPhoenix. I remember NightPhoenix versus Demaga on Gressman. That may have been one of the last times I've seen that, but yeah, it's very committed, and that can snowball out of control, especially because the third base is being taken. The Zerg player is usually maybe a little bit more greedy. They saturate their 4th base. They maybe even work towards a 5th. They get caught teching as well. They get caught, exposed with their pants down. But DRG was able to see that coming ahead of time. Again, really good Overlord positioning overall. Able to confirm it as well with his Lings, and yeah, was more than prepared for the all-in from NightPhoenix. So GG, very well played. DRG does advance on into the next round. Oh boy. And now we have one series left here tonight. One series left. So again, we're just rounding out the matches here for Group A. If you want to tune into the qualifying matches, we already casted them. We already casted the qualifying matches live over the weekend, and the VODs are available on Twitch. But there are still more matches that we were not able to cast, that we were not able to cover, and one of them is this. We have an upper bracket match. Earlier we casted Lambo 2-0 sort of. Earlier we also casted Mana 2-0 NightPhoenix, and now they are both here in their winners match. Lambo versus Mana. Oh, let's go, Bobby, let's go.